Hello friends, today we are going to learn about intermolecular force. The intermolecular force, these are the forces of attraction and repulsion between interacting particles. Intermolecular force is present between the two atoms or two molecules. It may be attractive force or the repulsive force. It's called as intermolecular force. This intermolecular attractive force is also called as van der Waals force. This further divided into dispersion force, dipole-dipole force and dipole-induced dipole force. Van der Waals force. Van der Waals force is the attractive intermolecular forces present between the particles. It's called as van der Waals force. Means the attractive force present between the two atoms or molecules is called as van der Waals force. The first type of van der Waals force is a dispersion force or London force. Is present between the two atoms which are non-polar molecules which are electrically neutral, having no dipole moment. Here you can see atom A and B. There is symmetrical distribution of electronic charge cloud. For very short time A becomes unsymmetrical, which results in development of dipole. This transient dipole distorts electron density of other atom. B, which is close to it. This way, this atom A induce dipole in atom B. This effect is temporary. This is called as dispersion force. Again you can see atom A is having symmetrical distribution of electronic charge. For very short time A becomes unsymmetrical, which result in development of dipole. This dipole distort electron density of atom which is close to it. Here you can see the atom B. The dipole induced in atom B. This type of force are temporary force, is called as dispersion force or London force. Next type of van der Waals force is dipole-dipole force. These forces act between the molecules which possesses net dipole moment or having permanent dipole moment. These are present between the polar molecules. Here you can see, for example, HCl, in which hydrogen is having delta plus charge and chlorine is having delta minus charge. Here you can see there is distribution of electron cloud in HCl molecule. This dipole-dipole interaction between the two HCl molecules, here you can see electron cloud, the delta minus charge of chlorine attracts delta plus charge of second chlorine molecule. This is called as dipole-dipole interaction. This type of force are called as dipole-dipole force. This type of forces are stronger than the dispersion or London forces. The third type of van der Waals force is dipole-induced dipole force. This type of attractive force operate between polar and non-polar molecules. As polar molecule, here you can see, having permanent dipole moment, which induces dipole on the non-polar molecule by deforming its electron cloud. That is, induced dipole is developed. Here you can see, this is a polar molecule which creates delta plus and delta minus charge. Polar means there is electronegativity difference between the atom, bonding atom A and B. B is slightly more electronegative, therefore create a delta minus charge. This is a non-polar molecule which has no delta charge. Due to presence of net dipole moment in the polar molecule, it creates or deform electron cloud of adjacent non-polar molecule. It creates a induced dipole in a non-polar molecule. It's called dipole-induced dipole force. In this way, today we learn about the intermolecular force. Intermolecular force are the forces of attraction and repulsion between interacting particles. There are two types of intermolecular forces: van der Waals force and intermolecular repulsive force. The van der Waals force is further divided into three types: dispersion force, which is present between the two non-polar molecules; second, dipole force, which is present between the two polar molecules which have net dipole moment; and third one is a dipole-induced dipole force, which is present between polar and non-polar molecule. Thank you for watching this video.